Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about dreams, not the kind you have while you're asleep, but the kind that wake you up, the kind that whisper or sometimes shout, "This is what you're meant for." When we think about pursuing our dreams, words like strength, resilience, and determination often come to mind. We picture the hard work, the late nights, and the sacrifices required to make those dreams a reality. But there's another essential ingredient, one that often goes overlooked because it's uncomfortable, misunderstood, and even feared: vulnerability. Vulnerability is the willingness to show up and be seen, even when we can't control the outcome. It's choosing to take the risk of stepping into uncertainty because we believe in what lies on the other side. This concept might feel counterintuitive at first. After all, how can something that feels so raw and exposed possibly lead us towards something as powerful as fulfilling our dreams? But vulnerability is not just part of the process, it is the process. It's the foundation upon which all meaningful pursuit of dreams is built. Think about it, every dream begins with the simple, courageous act of admitting, "I want this." That moment of acknowledgement, whether spoken aloud or kept quietly within, is inherently vulnerable. To dream is to risk disappointment, failure, and judgment. It's to invite uncertainty and lay bare our deepest desires. Yet without that moment of truth, without that step into vulnerability, dreams remain locked away, hidden behind the walls we construct to protect ourselves from pain or rejection. One of the most significant barriers to embracing vulnerability is the fear of failure. We often internalize the idea that if we fail, it means we are not enough, that our worth is tied to our success. But vulnerability challenges this notion. It reminds us that our worth is not conditional. We are worthy because we are human, not because of what we achieve or how perfectly we execute our plans. This understanding is liberating. It allows us to approach our dreams with courage, knowing that failure is not an end, but a beginning, a stepping stone on the path to growth and learning. Another reason vulnerability feels so daunting is the fear of judgment. When we put our dreams out into the world, we open ourselves up to criticism. People may not understand our vision, they may question our choices or doubt our abilities. This can be incredibly painful, but it's also a necessary part of the journey. Vulnerability teaches us that other people's opinions do not define us. The only validation we truly need is our own belief in the value of our dream. And here's the paradox: vulnerability, though it feels like exposure, is also a source of incredible strength. It's the birthplace of creativity, innovation, and resilience. Why? Because when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we unlock the freedom to think differently, to take risks, and to persevere through challenges. Creativity, by its very nature, requires vulnerability. It demands that we explore the unknown, try new things, and embrace the possibility of failure. Consider the stories of great innovators, artists, and leaders. Behind every breakthrough, there's a moment, or often many moments, of vulnerability. The scientist who risks ridicule by proposing a radical new theory. The entrepreneur who stakes everything on an untested idea. The writer who pours their heart onto the page, not knowing how it will be received. What these stories have in common is a willingness to be seen, even in moments of doubt, imperfection, and uncertainty. Vulnerability also fosters connection, which is critical for turning dreams into reality. Dreams don't happen in isolation, they require collaboration, support, and a sense of belonging. When we show up vulnerably, we invite others to see the real us, not the polished, curated version, but the authentic, imperfect human behind the dream. This authenticity builds trust and opens the door to deeper relationships. It allows others to see themselves in our struggles and aspirations, creating a ripple effect of connection and inspiration. But what does embracing vulnerability look like in practice? It means allowing yourself to dream big, even when it feels safer to stay small. It means sharing your ideas, even when your voice shakes. It means asking for help, admitting when you're stuck, and being open to feedback, even when it stings. It means acknowledging your fears, doubts, and insecurities without letting them dictate your choices. It also means celebrating your progress, no matter how small, and treating yourself with compassion when things don't go as planned. Vulnerability is not about being perfect or fearless. It's about being brave enough to take the next step, even when you're scared. A critical part of embracing vulnerability is reframing our relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid at all costs, we can learn to view failure as a natural and valuable part of the process. Every misstep teaches us something we need to know to move closer to our dream. Every no brings us one step closer to the right.
Yes.
Vulnerability also requires patience and persistence. Dreams don't happen overnight, and the road to realizing them is often winding and unpredictable. Along the way, there will be moments of doubt, frustration, and discouragement. But vulnerability allows us to stay in the arena, to keep showing up even when it's hard. It reminds us that the only way to fail is to stop trying. Ultimately, vulnerability is not a weakness to overcome, but a strength to embrace. It's the courage to let go of the need for certainty and control, to take risks, and to keep moving forward, even when the outcome is unclear. By leaning into vulnerability, we transform not only our dreams, but also ourselves. We become more resilient, more compassionate, and more connected to the people and world around us. When we stand at the crossroads of a decision, one road leading to courage and the other to comfort, it's tempting to choose the familiar, the safe, the easy. Comfort offers security, predictability, and the illusion of control. It's the warm blanket we wrap around ourselves to shield against uncertainty or fear. But courage asks us to step into the unknown, to risk failure, and to face challenges head-on. Choosing courage over comfort is not about denying the value of rest or stability. Comfort has its place in our lives. It allows us to recharge and reflect. However, comfort becomes a barrier when it prevents us from moving forward, from taking the risks necessary to grow and pursue our dreams. Growth and progress happen not in the zone of ease, but in the space where we dare to stretch beyond what we think is possible. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to act in spite of it. The misconception that courageous people are fearless often stops us before we even begin. We look at those who have achieved great things and assume they were born with an extraordinary sense of bravery. The truth is, courage is not innate, it's cultivated. It's a choice we make again and again when we decide that the pursuit of something meaningful outweighs the pull of staying comfortable. Think about the moments in life when you felt most alive. Chances are those moments were not when you were playing it safe or avoiding risks. They were likely times when you stepped outside your comfort zone, whether it was applying for a new job, speaking your truth in a difficult conversation, or pursuing a dream others thought was impossible. These moments of courage, though often uncomfortable or even terrifying, are what define us. They remind us of our capacity to rise above fear and doubt. One of the challenges of choosing courage is that it rarely comes with immediate rewards. The path of courage is often bumpy, unpredictable, and full of obstacles. It can feel lonely at times, especially when others don't understand or support the choices we've made. But the value of courage isn't in the immediate outcome, it's in the person we become through the process. Every time we choose courage, we strengthen our resilience, build our confidence, and deepen our understanding of what truly matters to us. Courage also invites failure, and that's where its power lies. Failure is often seen as the ultimate fear, a sign that we weren't good enough or didn't try hard enough. But in reality, failure is a teacher. It's a necessary part of growth and a natural consequence of taking risks. When we embrace failure as part of the journey, we remove its power to paralyze us. Courage teaches us that falling down is not the end, it's a chance to get back up stronger and wiser than before. Another powerful aspect of courage is its ripple effect. When we choose to act courageously, we inspire others to do the same. Courage is contagious. It shows others that it's okay to take risks, to fail, and to try again. It creates a culture of authenticity and resilience where people feel empowered to step into their own potential. Choosing courage over comfort is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It's in the small, everyday moments when we decide to speak up instead of staying silent, to take a step forward instead of holding back, and to remain true to ourselves instead of conforming to what's easy or expected. Courage challenges us to keep showing up even when the road is hard or the outcome is uncertain. It asks us to trust that what lies on the other side of discomfort is worth the risk. Dreams are deeply personal, but they are never achieved in isolation. At the heart of every transformative journey lies the power of connection, the relationships, communities, and networks that support and amplify our efforts. Connection is not just a feel-good concept, it's a catalyst for growth, resilience, and success. When we embrace connection, we tap into a force that strengthens our resolve, expands our resources, and enriches the meaning behind what we do. Connection begins with authenticity. To build meaningful relationships, we must first show up as our true selves. This requires vulnerability, the willingness to be seen, even in our imperfections. When we let go of the pressure to present a polished version of ourselves and instead share openly about our dreams, struggles, and fears, we invite others to do the same. This mutual exchange creates bonds that are rooted in trust and understanding, forming the foundation for collaboration and support. One of the most powerful aspects of connection is the way it multiplies our efforts. When we connect with others who share our vision, we create a synergy where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. A single idea can grow into a movement when it's fueled by collective energy and diverse perspectives. Whether it's a team working toward a common goal, a mentor offering guidance, or a friend providing encouragement, connection accelerates progress and amplifies impact. Connection also provides the resilience we need to navigate challenges. Pursuing a dream is rarely a smooth or straightforward process. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. In these times, the strength of our connections can make all the difference. Supportive relationships remind us that we're not alone, offering encouragement when our confidence wavers in perspective, when we lose sight of the bigger picture. They provide the emotional and practical resources we need to keep moving forward. Another key element of connection is its ability to foster innovation. Collaboration with others brings fresh ideas, new approaches, and valuable feedback. It pushes us to think beyond our own experiences and perspectives, opening up possibilities we might not have considered on our own. This is particularly true when we seek out connections with people who have different backgrounds, skills, or viewpoints. Diversity within our networks fuels creativity and strengthens the solutions we develop. Connection also deepens the meaning of what we do. When our dreams align with the needs and aspirations of others, they become about more than personal achievement, they become a contribution to something greater. Whether it's creating art that resonates with an audience, building a business that serves a community, or leading a cause that inspires change, connection infuses our dreams with purpose and legacy. Finally, connection reminds us of our shared humanity. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of success and forget that what truly matters is the impact we have on others. When we prioritize connection, we center our dreams around relationships, empathy, and collaboration. This not only helps us achieve our goals, but also ensures that the journey is fulfilling and aligned with our deepest values. Every single one of us has a story and narrative shaped by our experiences, choices, triumphs, and setbacks. It is uniquely ours, filled with chapters of joy, struggle, learning, and growth. Yet too often we let shame, fear, or external judgment obscure our story, causing us to deny or hide the very parts that make us who we are. But to move forward into the future we dream of, we must first own our story. By embracing our truth, we free ourselves from the constraints of the past and empower ourselves to shape what comes next. Owning your story begins with acknowledgement. This means looking at your life, the successes and failures, the moments of pride and the times of regret, and accepting it all. There is power in saying, "This is where I've been. These are the experiences that have shaped me." It doesn't mean you have to love every part of your story, or that you can't wish some chapters had been written differently. What it does mean is that you stop running from your truth. Pretending those difficult chapters don't exist only gives them more power over you. Acknowledgement is the first step toward reclaiming that power. For many, the most challenging part of owning your story is embracing vulnerability. To tell the full truth of who you are requires exposing parts of yourself you might prefer to keep hidden, your fears, mistakes, and insecurities. But vulnerability is not weakness. It is the courage to stand in your truth, no matter how messy or imperfect it may feel. When you embrace vulnerability, you create space for self-compassion and growth. You begin to see that your struggles are not evidence of failure, but proof of resilience. Another key to owning your story is releasing shame. Shame thrives in silence. It convinces us that our mistakes or shortcomings make us unworthy of connection, success, or love. But when we bring shame into the light, when we name it, examine it, and challenge its grip, we begin to break free from its hold. Owning your story means rejecting the narrative that you are defined by your lowest moments. Instead, it's about recognizing that you are so much more than any single chapter of your life. Owning your story also requires confronting the stories you tell yourself about who you are. Often, these internal narratives are shaped by societal expectations, childhood experiences, or the opinions of others. You might tell yourself you're not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to pursue your dreams. These stories can become self-fulfilling prophecies, keeping you stuck in patterns of self-doubt and limitation. But when you take ownership of your story, you reclaim the authority to rewrite these narratives. You begin to separate what is true from what is simply a reflection of someone else's perspective or a fear you've internalized. An important aspect of owning your story is understanding that it is never static. Just as a book evolves chapter by chapter, so too does your life. The story you tell today doesn't have to define you tomorrow. You have the power to edit, revise, and add new pages at any time. This realization is liberating. It means that no matter where you've been or what you've faced, your story remains a work in progress. You are not confined by your past. You are free to imagine and create a future that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Owning your story also opens the door to connection. When we share our authentic selves with others, we invite them to do the same. The stories we tell have the power to inspire, comfort, and unite. They remind others that they are not alone in their struggles or dreams. This is why owning your story is not just an act of self-empowerment, it is a gift to those around you. By showing up as your true self, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. At the heart of owning your story is self-compassion. Too often, we are our harshest critics, replaying past mistakes and failures as evidence of our inadequacy. But self-compassion allows us to view our story through a lens of kindness and understanding. It helps us recognize that we did the best we could with what we knew at the time, and that we are continually learning and evolving. When we treat ourselves with compassion, we give ourselves permission to grow, heal, and move forward. Owning your story is also about recognizing the strengths and gifts it has given you. Every experience, even the painful ones, has shaped the person you are today. The resilience you've built, the wisdom you've gained, and the empathy you've cultivated are all a result of your journey. By owning your story, you begin to see not just the challenges you faced, but also the incredible strength you've shown in overcoming them. Finally, owning your story empowers you to write your future. When you embrace who you are, you stop living for other people's expectations or letting fear dictate your choices. You begin to make decisions that align with your values and aspirations. You take ownership of your path, confident that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever lies ahead. Dreams are not just destinations, they are journeys that demand courage, vulnerability, and connection. To realize them, we must first dare to show up, embrace uncertainty, and lean into the discomfort of growth. We must choose courage over comfort, allowing ourselves to step into the unknown with faith and our strength. Along the way, we learn that connection is not just a tool, but a powerful catalyst, one that multiplies our efforts and reminds us we are never alone. Most importantly, we must own our story, recognizing that every chapter, good or bad, has shaped us into who we are and equips us to write the future we deserve. Dreaming is not just about reaching for something greater, it's about transforming ourselves in the process. When we embrace these truths, we step into a life not only of aspiration, but of authenticity, resilience, and purpose. Thank you.